Every Friday morning, we go in-depth with our Target 12 investigators, and this morning, Steph Machado is here to break down the very latest with Rhode Island's truck tolls. Good morning, Steph.
Good morning.
All right, so right now we know those tractor trailers that drive under the toll gantries, they are not being charged in Rhode Island. They're not being charged anything after the federal judge's ruling. So a lot of people want to know if that might change.
Well, the court case is not over, we learned this week, Danielle, because state leaders have decided to appeal that court ruling from September 21st when a federal judge ordered that the tolls be shut off. When the ruling first came down, Governor Dan McKee wasn't committing one way or another to challenging the decision. And we know this was an initiative of former Governor Gina Raimondo in her roadworks plan. So even though McKee had continued that program, it wasn't clear how far he'd go to defend it. But last Friday, McKee met with House Speaker Joe Shekarchi, Senate President Dominic Ruggiero, and Attorney General Peter Neronha, and they decided to appeal the ruling. McKee revealed that for the first time during our 12 News debate earlier this week in response to a question from moderator Tim White.
Can you tell us right now what you're planning to do?
We'll appeal.
You are going to appeal the truck toll decision. So you think the truck tolls were constitutional in the end?
Yes, I think that we're going to appeal.
And as we reported last month, U.S. District Court Judge William Smith determined that the truck tolls were unconstitutional. So then what is their argument for this appeal?
Yeah, it's a really good question. The appeal has not been filed yet, so we don't know their exact arguments. Attorney General Peter Neronha, whose office is representing the state in court, said it was too soon to detail their arguments. But he did say part of the Constitution called the Dormant Commerce Clause at issue in this case is not settled law. In fact, the U.S. Supreme Court heard arguments just earlier this week about the Commerce Clause. It's a case about pork in California, so nothing to do with tolls, but it's the same clause of the Constitution. So here's what the AG said.
Given that that's an area of law that's unsettled, given that the program here is unique, given that there are arguments, I think good ones, as to why this tolling system should be upheld, certainly it is one where if the policymakers believe in the policy, then it is one that in my view, there's a credible appeal to be had, and then we should bring it.
All right, so the court case has been going on really for years here. So do we know how much money has been spent defending these truck tolls?
Yes, according to the DOT, this lawsuit has cost taxpayers $8.4 million in legal fees to outside lawyers, and that doesn't include the time and effort of in-house lawyers at the AG's office. The state also spent $69 million on the contract to build the 12 toll gantries and operate them. Now, the tolls have brought in about $100 million in revenue so far. McKee's Republican opponent in the governor's race, Ashley Kalis, points to that $8 million spent on legal fees in her argument to drop this appeal. She says she agrees with the court that the tolls are unconstitutional.
All right, a lot to follow. Thanks, as always, Steph, for bringing us up to date. We appreciate it, and we know Target 12, of course, will track this all the way to the end.
Of course.